in which the police chief General Kale Kaihura was allegedly discussing with two NRM leaders about the Prime Minister's mobilization scheme for the 2016 presidential election. The recording went viral on social media. The audio recordings, which were posted on Facebook by an outspoken critic of the NRM regime called Tom Voltaire Okwalinga, were picked by different media outlets and made headlines for days. The leaked audio recordings revealed the conversation of one of the NRM mobilizers called Alex Kasidivu, telling General Kaihura about how he was paid by the Prime Minister Mama Mbabazi's wife Jacqueline Mbabazi to mobilize NRM party leaders to rally behind Mbabazi for the 2016 presidential polls.
Kubanga mbadde nkola emirimu gyange gya bulimi najjanga mwena media network nabona babeerangamu mu biseera ebyo era nze nali nkiikirira Kayunga mukono NRM National Media Network nga siimyete buki bulungi nakwata sente nazimba milioni 10. Yes.
Part of the recording also has Alex Kasidivu making a wide range of allegations about the involvement of the Catholic Archbishop Cyprian Kizito Lwanga and his Anglican counterpart Stanley Ntagali in support of Mama Mbabazi's alleged presidential bid. The two clerics have since denied the allegations. Kasidivu also expressed fear about his personal security. The police chief acknowledged the authenticity of the recording, but added that they were stolen from their possession.
First of all, this tape is it is a tape. It is police property. It is in the course of investigation. We interview, and the process of interviewing, we use all means. We use the pen. Now are you recording me now? Yes. Yes, you are recording me. So you think you have the monopoly of recorders? We also record using a recorder. It's open. There is no secret about it. You know, we are making it as a secret. It is a normal course of the way we interview.
The big question, though, is how such classified information involving high-profile investigation found its way to the social media platform.
Somebody who is obviously not professional got access to it and took it to the wrong people who were not supposed to have it. And that's how it ended, where it ended. And I don't want to jeopardize the investigations because the CID is investigating how that tape got across to where it went.
General Kaihura declined to make any further comments on the matter.
This matter is sub judice. As you know, it's in court. Of course, there's a case in court. You have been reporting about it. Haven't you? Should bear me out. It's in court, and therefore it's sub judice. So let's not. Otherwise, we may end up being you and me going in for contempt of court.
The leaked audio recordings come on the heels of the recent arrests of two pro-Mbabazi NRM youth leaders for allegedly bribing party members to sign a petition calling for the NRM delegates conference. The conference was reportedly meant to oppose the NRM caucus Chankwanzi resolution that endorsed President Yoweri Museveni as the party's sole candidate for the 2016 general election. Media reports also indicate that one officer has been arrested in connection with the leaked audio recordings. Solomon Serwanja, NTV.
Rwanda has kicked off a series of events to mark the 20th anniversary of the country's genocide that claimed close to 1 million people. Addressing thousands that turned up at the Amahoro Stadium, Rwanda's President Paul Kagame said no country in Africa or anywhere else in the world ever needs to become another Rwanda.
The 7th of April 1994 saw the start of a tragedy that lasted 100 days. The tragedy soon came to be known as the Rwanda genocide. 20 years later, the story of Rwanda still draws numbers, among them journalists from all over, a sign that the international community has not lost sight of it. The national commemoration event was graced by Uganda's President Yoweri Museveni, Somalia's Hassan Sheikh Mohamud, South Sudan's Salva Kiir, Kenya's Uhuru Kenyatta, UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, Thabo Mbeki, Tony Blair, Benjamin Mkapa, and representatives from Burundi, Ethiopia, Nigeria, and other countries. Screams pierce the air and punctuate the sentences of the speaker. He is one of those who long confessed to having played a role in the killings. He was forgiven during the Gacaca courts, but still, as he tells his story, memories are evoked. Memories of events that transpired 20 years ago. The screams continue throughout the speeches.
As a veteran patriot of this area, I would like to warn those who hobnob with the genocidaires to know that they will have to contend with the patriotic forces that defeated the traitors with their external backers when they were still much weaker. We are now much stronger in every sense of the word.
During the genocide and the events after, the international community, the UN and countries like the US, Britain and Belgium were criticized for their inaction. The African Union and the United Nations agree that they did not do enough.
The silence of the international community in your hours of greatest need. Many United Nations personnel and others showed remarkable bravery, but we could have done much more. We should have done much more.
We therefore gather today to renew before you with humility our vow that never again.
President Paul Kagame has come under the spotlight in the last couple of days for reportedly saying that France had a direct role in the political preparation for genocide. The French government responded by pulling out of this year's event. They were noticeably absent today.
This commemoration is about Rwanda, it's not about France. So we feel that France has missed a very important opportunity, for sure, to make amends and to get closer to this country and the people of this country. But by and large, this commemoration is mostly for us, the people of Rwanda. We're not too bothered by the absence of France.
In his remarks today, Kagame said Rwanda would continue to seek answers to the events of 1994.
The passage of time should not obscure the facts, lessen the responsibility, or turn victims into villains. People cannot be bribed or forced into changing their history, and no country is powerful enough, even when they think they are, to change the facts. After all, les faits sont têtus.
He emphasized that in order to prevent a genocide in Rwanda or anywhere in future, there is need for historical clarity.
All genocides begin with an ideology, a system of ideas that says this group of people here, they are less than human and they deserve to be exterminated. We did not need to experience genocide to become a better people. It simply should never have happened.
After the genocide, it was feared that Rwanda would be a failed state, a divided state, perhaps even become a permanent UN protectorate, or suffer an endless civil war with endless streams of refugees. 20 years on, Rwanda is a fast-developing country. The physical signs of the genocide have long been cleaned up, but the hearts still grieve. The people of Rwanda have not forgotten where they have been. They want to remember, if it will help them to never go back.
And now we move to the Serena Hotel rooftop to find out what's making news in today's newspapers.
A very good morning on this wonderfully sunny Tuesday morning, exactly 11 days to my birthday. It's the 8th day of April 2014 and coming to you from the rooftop of the Kampala Serena Hotel. It's morning at NTV's press review. My name is Simon Kasiaki.
You have announced I
am looking out for wonderful gifts, at least a hug and kiss from you like Bijirimana Akulo. Yes, good morning, Joel.
Good morning. This morning somebody was telling me that all I'm missing is a hat, a grey hat, and I will look like somebody. Apparently, he is also my namesake. I need to what?
Need to up the size of your cheeks and cut off your goatee a little bit and grow a bald head like mine.
And look like who?
Your namesake.
Your namesake. Okay.
Your way.
I will stop at that.
The Daily Monitor this morning is coming out with a huge headline coming off the police report that just got released yesterday. Murder, defilement cases have gone up. I mean, what's wrong with this country? Well, interestingly, the usual suspected crimes are on the rise according to the police report, and we'll be discussing in greater detail with a big story this morning when we return from this press review. But let's not fail to look at defilement, domestic violence, homicide, child-related cases, land, and of course, yes, corruption. All these are on the increase. And surprisingly, robbery, drugs, traffic, economic, and I wonder what economic crimes, if that's not corruption, and of course, breakings have gone low.
It's interesting. The highest increase is here happening to be corruption. You know, in Uganda, we have mastered the art of reaping where we have not sown. At all levels, at all levels. Our leaders are very rapacious, and of course they come out and they want to tell us to be patriotic. But it's even at our small levels.
Tenuous? What's the other
one? All those. Even at our small levels, really, we are thieves. It's just that we do not have the opportunity that these guys have, you know, overseeing, superintending over billions of shillings.
Absolutely.
And so it begins that way. It begins that way if you can do it at this small level of viewers.
During the Kazinda trial, when I told you that Ugandans are bad people, you doubted me. So
but not generally. I mean, we're not talking about all Ugandans. There's Ugandans out there that work their backs out to earn a good living, and they're doing everything they can. You want me to name them?
Well,
I'm one of them. Okay, he says
I'm one of them.
He says he's one of them.
Aren't you one of them? There are 3 good guys here who work. And that's just about in a country of 34 million.
Are you serious? Seriously? There's 37 million Ugandans.
Well, there's a lady I met and during the Kazinda trial, she was like, you know what, Banang, you can't blame the guy.
Hey.
If you're in control of all that money, sure, I can also steal. And there's another one who said, Banang, the day you hear that me have been arrested, make sure that when you hear I've stolen about 100 million, that's not me. I must steal more than $1 million. Well, so people are already prepared to steal. But just waiting for the right amount. The stealing doesn't take place in these places where the NTV cameras are concentrated. I'm talking about Kampala and neighboring areas. We're looking at the police report this morning saying that in Mbale, you have the highest crime rate, followed by Jinja, followed closely by your neighbor Iganga. Then we swing to the west and end up in Mbarara, Wakiso Close Central, Rakai, Lira, and then we come down to Kira Road, Old Kampala, and a Masaka. I'm very surprised that Kampala is not, you know. No, it is there. I mean, but Kampala is broken down. It's not a geographical district. You know, they place them in form of police districts. So we have Chira Road as a district and Old Kampala as a district, featuring prominently for the geographical area that Kampala is. Actually, if you combine them, they are a lot higher than of course the other one. Old Kampala and Eastern Uganda, Mbale, Jinja, Iganga. These districts have suffered a lot. You know, previously they've been called the capital city of poverty, jiggers, and now crime. Well, I think that crime is what's leading to the poverty. That whatever is there, that is earmarked, whatever is earmarked, no, it's whatever is earmarked, eradicate poverty, is stolen through corruption. Hence the crime. Maybe you never know. It's a case of egg and chicken. Who came first? Is it the chicken? If so, where did it hatch from? Is it the egg? If so, who laid the egg? So here we go. Yesterday, our neighbor to the southwest, Rwanda, celebrated 20 years after that horrific genocide in 1994. And in a moving speech that was received with a lot of applause from Rwandans in the Amahoro Stadium across the country, and perhaps even across the world, President Paul Kagame did hit out at former colonial master,
France accusing it, no, not accusing it, of course, asking it to take full responsibility. And I quote, he says, "The passage of time should not obscure the facts, lessen the responsibility, or turn victims into villains. People cannot be bribed or forced into changing their history, and no country is powerful enough, even when they think they are powerful, to change the facts. After all," and he said this in French, "facts remain facts." I cannot pronounce the French way of saying it, but he says,
"How do you know
"Les faits
it's right?"
sont têtus." Very well.
Right.
There's a diplomatic row as a result of all these goings on towards and after the celebrations to mark 20 years after the genocide between Rwanda and France. In fact, you remember that France did bar one of their ministers from attending these celebrations, and at yesterday's celebration, the French ambassador to Kigali was barred from attending the celebrations at the Mahoro Stadium.
The foreign affairs minister had actually been invited. It's just that they turned down last minute after, of course.
Yeah, so when the foreign affairs minister of France turned down, then Rwanda found it not important to have the ambassador attending.
Right.
It's diplomacy.
But you see, the international community needs to get serious. Many times when things are happening where they need to come in to help, they do not. They come in last minute. We are having how many? 150 troops here in, you know, I mean, apparently going to hand out Kony. And some of us are thinking, wait, if this had come 2000, you know, that would be very welcome. But here we are, 2014, this guy is deep in the jungle.
You remember the text message from one of those prominent Western leaders who said Spain is not Uganda?
So what do they...
You can as well say that Crimea is not Central African Republic.
Or Syria. Police what makes many reshuffle here? Brian, you're exactly
well, of course, people have always been saying, say, if Rwanda had oil then troops would have been sent right away to the place.
You insinuate this guy after
if there were more strategic things that France was
geopolitical interests.
You know, I guess that genocide would have been prevented right away.
It is even disgusting for anyone to postulate such a position. I thought that human life, no matter where it is, should be more important than any kind of valuable or whatever.
Yeah, that's a thing through your eyes. But if you're to look at where the interventions have taken place and where they have not, but should have, you realize
the lowest common denominator is that they are people. But there has to be more than just people.
Certainly. They are more interested in other things than they are.
And unfortunately, international relations has been based on that. Even in Somalia, where the U.S. suffered a very great defeat. Now they've sent Ugandan troops to help.
They actually got a bloody nose.
It was a bloody nose. And so that's how, you know, international relations works. Now we're seeing it with Russia and Ukraine. We saw it with the U.S. threatening to bomb Syria. It is based on what is my interest in the country.
I'm not so sure.
Talking about diplomacy, we see the Foreign Affairs Minister of Uganda, Sam Kutesa, engaged in shuttle diplomacy between Kampala and Washington in a bid to clear the air on the gays debate in Uganda. Let's not forget that the American ambassador to Uganda has increasingly become critical and vocal, well, according to him rightly so, over Uganda's signing of the anti-homosexuality law. And as a result of this, his country promising to cut down any form of assistance or at least channeling it out to the most vulnerable, not through government. Now, Foreign Affairs Minister Sam Kutesa is in the ambassador's capital trying to allay their fears, but he insists that Uganda will not tolerate the promotion and exhibition of homosexuality. That will certainly remain prohibited.
Lawyers here are giving an ultimatum to the president. Apparently about 60 days. They're saying within 60 days we should have a substantive Chief Justice. We've not had one for quite a bit of time. We have one who is acting. He's also acting Deputy Chief Justice. I did hear the government spokesperson. Ofono Pondo. It's good you laugh.
Why do you... What did my good old friend Ofono say about this situation?
No, each time I hear him reacting to, you know, in many ways, he's always rebutting, whether he's hitting at government or criticizing
That's his job, Joe.
So
he's supposed to do that.
Yeah, but you can do your job in a more organized manner, in a more gentlemanly manner, because many things, your job can tell a lot about you and probably the way you grew up. That's another one also.
But you see,
I want to appreciate that the rest of the pudding is in the eating. If you were put in his exact position, perhaps you'd perform the job in the same way he's doing, or you'd perform it the way you do it. The reason you are not in his position is that you are unable to do the job the way he's doing it. And, you know, we must all respect people in their respective tasks.
And certainly, but this is public office. This is public office. So, you know, whatever he does say, in many ways, does affect me, does affect you.
But we
I think I have a problem with his public relations.
What did he say?
You know, by the way, it is what you say is not as important as how you say it, just to answer you.
Right. Well, there we are, the usual Ugandan accusations where they don't look at the substance, but rather the subject.
Yeah, how you say it, not the substance. Remember what I just said? What you say is not as important as how you say it.
Again,
hope that sinks in.
The object and not the substance. Talking about ultimatum, President Museveni has asked his South Sudan counterpart, Salva Kiir, to pay the Ugandan traders the billions that they've lost in supply of goods and services. Let's not forget that a couple of months ago, we did host one of the traders, Ugandan traders, who was plying their trade between here and South Sudan, and the deplorable story of how they were cheated and mistreated by the South Sudan government, which government knows how much the Ugandan government has shouldered their burdens for a very long time.
The police chief is making reshuffles, an interesting one. Judith Nabakova, who's been police spokesperson for quite a while now. Apparently, she's now going to be overseeing and monitoring and coordinating the function of music, dance, and drama.
Among other things, come on. She has a very huge...
I haven't finished yet. But, yeah, that is very well emphasized here. We wish her the very best.
Is that a promotion? I think for the sake of our viewers, they need to understand that the new police spokesperson is going to be my very good friend, Mr. Fred Enanga, with whom we've been dealing closely on matters of pieces of land across this country. Yes, and he will be deputized by Pauline Amanya, the lady who was spokesperson in the Rizi district.
I saw that coming. I saw that coming. I've seen her on screen many times. I don't know whether she architects that herself, but I was thinking, okay, perhaps she's due for an appointment.
And our very good friend Ibn Senkumbi, who's been a constant fixture every Monday news, is now moving in to replace her in southwestern Uganda, while Mr. Onyango, who was police deputy spokesperson, now replaces Ibn Senkumbi in Kampala Metropolitan. And talking of whom, we unveil to you the brand new spokesperson of police, Kampala Metropolitan. On the big story this morning, discuss the police report.
Simon, this reshuffle brings a point of debate where young officers are promoted and people who have been there for years, not, the guy has been there, he's not even sergeant or ASP up to this point. I see so many traffic officers who have been on the street for a long time, but they are not even sergeant. Is this...
by the way, I tell you that... You've seen the younger traffic police officer now, Mr. Musinga, with whom I have a lot of respect for. He is so smart that when I saw him in a white traffic police uniform, I can tell you, watch him. Come rain, come shine. You won't find even a single drop of dust on that uniform. That boy is meticulous. And I often add that he turns the same merit to the way he does his job.
I hope so. I've had a couple of complaints. One of the reasons, for example...
I would complain against him. He is a personal friend, but he would never bend the law to accommodate me. That's one thing I respect about him. That he will put his job before personal friendships. There's something about him. I could be wrong, or possibly he acts that way towards me, but I think that is a hallmark of a good police officer.
Is that Sunday?
No. Norman Musinga.
I know Sunday also at, Kira Road. He's the same guy. He knows you, you laugh, then he tells you, look this one up.
But you see, you're talking about traffic officers remaining on the roads. I'll tell you, many of these guys are actually comfortable staying there. Why? Because by the time that guy leaves that place, his pockets are bulging, not with the phones or pieces of paper, but with some money. I'll tell you, the other day when after...
He is as corrupt as those who give him the money. So we cannot exacerbate ourselves from the responsibility of corruption.
We are not. I'm just justifying why many of them are actually comfortable remaining on the streets. While we are here feeling sorry for them, they're being hit by the sun, they're comfortable and they're saying, I wish I don't get promoted, because at the end of the day...
Is it better to encourage younger people and give them all these promotions because they are vibrant, they are energetic?
Forget about that. We are in a country where the demographic is such that there are more young people than the seasoned old people. It's quite unheard of. If you watch international television channels, you will not find a set of 3 TV presenters on prime time or the top TV station ranging from the age of 30 to 33 as a maximum. But here we are in Uganda, you find that that's the age bracket that is running the show. At NTV, it would do the same in police, it would do the same in other facets, if only it would do the same with the presidency. And the URA, that's the Uganda Revenue Authority, is tightening their grip on a number of companies that do not remit their VAT. Now they have listed out 900 farms in the Daily Monitor, page 8. You need to get yourself a copy of the Daily Monitor to check for yourself whether your farm is one of them. I used to own a certain company that dealt with image consultancy and the like. It has since been relegated to my briefcase. I have not registered VAT return in a very long time. I have a feeling it's one of these 900.
There and you're thinking, okay. In addition to that, you have a police bond. It's very suspect.
You cannot be having a good time in a country that's having a bad time. Well, Okay. Now the rains are here. The flooding problem is hitting us harder than it ever should. Whether it is in the city or in the far-flung areas of this country. The Daily Monitor is coming up with an editorial this morning saying, fix growing flood problem. What are they talking about? Get yourself a copy. Of course, the usual cynic opinion writer Nicholas Sengowa plainly speaking and saying to General Kaihura, bad records can be hidden behind anger.
Reading is liberating. Some commentary here. It's interesting what there is when you begin to read. I am doing a little bit of reading, not where I want to be, but you can discover lots of things. You know, in Uganda, much of what we read is Facebook. That is the biggest book that we read. But as we begin to read, and you know, you were talking about young people being recruited and stuff like that. For me, actually, I'm not too much into, okay, recruit young. I think let's recruit young people. But you see, one, they should be competent. They should be very well prepared. They should be up for the task. It's not enough to say, okay, now let's get young people into jobs because there are many and that kind of thing. Can they actually deliver? For me, that is actually more important.
I've just seen myself in the red paper this morning.
What did you do this time?
And they're looking at extravagant wedding, your future enemy. And
do you have an extravagant wedding?
Me? No. Advice from the president is that why should a couple go to church with cars? Just go to the RDC's office or a priest to wed you. And I was a best man over the weekend to a friend, and I see the picture here.
That's been an extravagant wedding.
There we have it in Prosper Magazine this morning, which is a pull-out magazine in the Daily Monitor that teaches you how to make money so that you can be able to afford that extravagant wedding. But if you do not have the money, come on, get yourself a copy of the Daily Monitor and find out how much money you can make from the tourism industry.
I actually see people getting wedding loans, and I'm thinking, okay, so what happens when you fail to pay it? Do they take away your wife, or what happens? I think
you see, that's why some of us, the taste of the pudding isn't the eating. Try it out to see what will happen to you.
That's why some of us have invested in getting many friends way before we got married. Because you know,
so you get lots
of my things were given, you know, by friends who are service providers.
Okay, and now that I'm not married, I assume you guys are my friends, so we'll see how that goes.
Well, the Kaihura Mbabazi Museveni story continues to play out, and indeed, yes, it's the big story of Museveni and Mbabazi. We're talking about the president and his prime minister, who also doubles as the secretary general of the party, where the president is chairperson. Now, we see that there has been a new twist with regard to the recently leaked recordings depicting the police chief, General Kale Kaihura, interviewing some people. And the red paper this morning screams out loud, Rwanda, Mujira in trouble over Mbabazi plot. Let's not forget that General Rwanda is the Minister for Internal Affairs and former Chief of Defense Forces, while General Mujira is somewhere in Nakasongola, but he's the former Chief of Military Intelligence.
There are some generals who are worried that General Kalechi is about to take over the jobs, because yesterday he was saying, you see, you generals don't have the monopoly of recording gadgets and that kind of thing, you know. So he was doing some reporting there, but
what does this say about the security of these evidence?
I mean, if a gadget
sounded so,
why do you want to preempt the big story one of these days? We will be discussing to the bottom of this how these recordings came to be, who leaked them. Well, as we conclude talking about crime, we see an interesting development between, you remember her, Grace Akulo, the chief at Crimes Intelligence of the police, who led the onslaught on the office of the Prime Minister, and the then permanent secretary in the ministry of, in the office of the Prime Minister. They hugged and kissed to make up. The red paper this morning is telling us the inside story. And of course, gossip on the front page, Parliament boss reps made.
Wow.
We'll be back. It's the big story coming on next as we talk about the increase in crime. And one of the increasing crimes is, yes, you guessed it right, defilement, domestic violence, homicide, child-related cases, land corruption. And the, of course, red paper doesn't miss its words. Gossip, Parliament boss reps made. That could have been part of the statistics that increased. Now, we do not know how old the maid was. That could be a case of defilement. That we'll be discussing shortly. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Ryonga, where is the script?
Every idea we have begins with you. The way you connect. Good morning. How you browse. How you share. And how you interact with the world around you.
The relationship with your God is the most important thing. How the company people, that's the opportunity. How do you want people to think, feel, and act after your talk? In other words, what's your objective?
You inspire everything. Because in the end, innovation doesn't really matter. Unless it does something that really matters to you. And we are HTC.
Oluvannyuma lwa lutalo abaana bangi batwalibwa ab'ekika abamu bajja ne babakima era tagenda mu lukoolayo nakisongola mu buluuri agende mu butale wagalaaro okubuuza omwana oyo mumanyi
nti mukwate obutonde obwekonkome mukwate obutonde bwa Ebola mubuteeke mu nsigo omuzungu ayogedde palamenti muyise bosi basajja omulembe guno gutuusemu n'abantu n'entondo kati waliwo n'emyaka egy'entondo
waliwo yakiŋŋamba
bamugamba muŋŋambe bulungi kati munkwate empola
dokita buli akwata bayibuli ajja kusomera bintu nga ye bw'alowooza. For example, waliwo controversy yaliwo
tobeera mu ssuuti ate ng'oteeka mu gganduula
olina kubeerako kimu
kubanga okusomesezza tumaze emyaka 2 tusomesa bannayuganda eddembe lyammwe mulimanyi oluusi n'obusobozi obulina
nakulabira abaganda baagala kabaka
I was going to my hall, someone came from my back and was I went to the nurse and I asked why is it that our father is negative and for us to oppose to?
Every time I find a story of assault of one person to another, I get disturbed.
Mayumbi ekyo waleeta suze olwo bakwokezza nazeepoza kimu nti mujja wange yanjokezza
kino ekyafa kino kyali kyakulira muno mu lubuto.
The Irene I know just loves music and loves to sing. I've never seen her even smoke a cigarette.
The days of legal trade in slaves are history, following its abolition in the 1800s.
They tie you like this. That's when I started getting past.
Everybody has a story, but yours will only become our story when you share it.
Naddala mu bannaamu muli gw'emizannyo gw'ebyemizannyo gukomyewo 2014 ate mutya kati ate gukyusiza n'obudde kati gwa 7 kitungulu gwali gwa 9 ne mugugoberera ntusanyuka kati gulongereddeko wano malya g'ebyemisana awo kusooka guba tayizidi waleetera bintu kyonna kalonda erinawo byemizannyo olugonyumuli gw'ebyemizannyo mupya 2014 isima waali alagira Argentina yende mukubira eddiba lye omukwano gujja kukomaano ku muli gw'emizannyo naye kasita kinatuuka eri bano ba Messi okulumba abalenzi baffe ba Thiago Silva awo tewali mukwano omuli gw'ebyemizannyo 2014 president.
You're watching Morning at NTV with Simon Kasiate, Mabel Kebirunji and Brian Mulundo.
Thank you for joining us this beautiful, bright Tuesday morning. We now return to Simon for today's big story.
Good morning once again. Joining us for the big story this morning on Morning at NTV, we are looking at the police report as was released yesterday. This is a report that features crime and other developments that the police handles over the previous year. Now we're looking at 2013. In this report, it indicated that there was a slight fall in crime by about 0.5 I think we give ourselves a thumbs up as Ugandans. At least it is a decrease, not an increase, no matter how small it is. And then, of course, the same report indicated, as a matter of highlight, that there were 250,000 cases that were reported last year, with an estimated 99,000 of these being criminal in nature. We the men were reported, according to this report, as the main perpetrators of crime, accounting for about 89% of the incidents. Women contributed about 7%, while male juveniles contributed 3%, and their female counterparts contributing a paltry 1%. To discuss all these developments and more, we have, fresh from the oven, the new spokesperson of police for the Kampala metropolitan area, Mr. Patrick Onya. Good morning.
Morning to you, Simon.
You're rejuvenated and happy to have this new shift in your police career, or have they taken you back to where you possibly don't want to go?
No, these are all new challenges. You know, in police, every assignment comes with its own challenges. I'm ready for it, and I thank the appointment authority for giving me this opportunity.
This is an area where you, for the most part, you'll be attending to people and speaking to them in their local dialect.
I will try.
They know you are.
Hey, I will try my best.
You are in a
where I fail, I change either Kiswahili or English.
Very
but
good.
They will understand me.
Well, we are seeing that there was a general decrease in crime.
Yeah, that's true.
To what extent did this happen, and what do you think are the factors that contribute to this? Is it heightened policing, or is it more civic vigilance, and people have generally become nicer?
No, people have not generally become nicer, but
You've become bad as a people.
No, we have not become bad. But you know, the chief executive of police has been embracing and continuing to preach the gospel of community policing. So people are becoming and joining us together to fight crime. We have partnered with all stakeholders in this country to see that crime is eradicated or eliminated.
But wait a minute, if you talk about community policing, we see a sharp increase in crimes that take place within the community. Defilement, domestic violence, child-related cases, land cases, ritual killings. These have shot up. And yet these are the crimes that are within the community that the community policing would avert very quickly.
Yes, the crimes we are talking about has its own challenges. You talk of defilement. Defilement is just takes more, within urban areas, it has declined. But in up country or village areas, it is where we witness this. Why? One, most of the girls go out of school before they are ready. Others are just because of ignorance. Others, this crime, when it is committed, the parents of the victim and the suspect, they come into mutual understanding.
Right over there. That's why I wanted to ask you, isn't the issue of community policing working more in urban centers where it's a cosmopolitan and people do not know each other, as opposed to villages where the neighbor is my cousin, the other far neighbor is my uncle, and in case there is a crime there, we have a higher chance of hiding it from the police and trying to sort it out using our residual domestic mechanisms, as opposed to reporting it to the police?
That's why we are enforcing it now at the in the villages. To make it, we are also now going to deploy all at the sub-county. We are sending there our graduates, that is cadets.
Do you have enough police personnel?
We have just recruited 500 cadets.
How many parishes do we have in this country?
They are about 200 something. And we already have staff who are already gazetted officers. That means from my rank and above. They are going to go up to the sub-county. They are going to go with all the composite unit of the police, whether dog section, scenes of crime, officers.
Some tear gas, of course.
No, not that. So that's our focus this year. Is
but going back you risk making this a police state in the real literal description of the word?
No, as I'm trying to explain to you,
proliferating to the smallest unit of societal organization.
Currently, all civil servants and civil service institutions at the Gombolola level, that is at sub-county, are supposed to be manned by graduates. So why should police not be manned by graduates at the sub-county?
Quite interesting there. Now, when we look at the graphics, especially those playing out on the screens before us, we know that there has been also a drastic fall, not an increase, but a fall in economic crime, narcotic drugs, robberies, house breakings, and fatal accidents. Now, let's look at the part of economic crimes. There's a drop in economic crimes, yet we see an increase in corruption. What's the difference between economic crimes and corruption?
Economic crime, this is basically a crime like you coming to con me, either borrow money from me, basically those things. But corruption touches the institution either of government or like say NTV.
So economic crimes are these, individual cases of going out to, siphon money by false pretense, robbing banks and the like. Well, now what would explain why these have fallen? Narcotic drugs, robberies, house breakings, and fatal accidents.
Narcotic drug, why it has fallen? We have recruited more officers.
And more dogs.
We have trained more officers. Yes, dogs are there, and they are doing a wonderful job at NTV Airport, getting all this. You have been witnessing. We have been seizing these narcotic drugs at the airport. It is because of the dogs we are talking about. They are doing a wonderful job. And several other issues that we have put in place to see that we curb this crime.
So from your report, we see the districts of Mbale, Jinja, Iganga, Mbarara, Wakiso, and Masaka, not forget the Kampala policing districts of Chira Road and Old Kampala, taking pole position with regard to crime. What explains why these areas are so crime prone?
These are cosmopolitan areas. They attract a lot of people. You talk of Jinja. Jinja, you know very well, it was the hub of industry of this country. And now the industries have declined. Now most people...
Except, of course, power generation, which is still very strong in there.
Yes. And also, another reason which explains the increase in Jinja is because you remember there was the building of the dam of the Bujagali. Most people came from the up country to come and partake of the job there. Some got the jobs, others failed.
And
others couldn't go back.
Completed,
others
they
couldn't
became jobless.
Others couldn't go back to the village. So they remained in Kampala.
In Jinja?
In Jinja. And they're the ones whom you might find who are engaging in this kind of activity.
As a police strategy, what are you going to do? Because a decline in general crime of 0.5 is, for some cases, too little, perhaps even too late. What are you putting in place to ensure that the next report of 2014, for example, will show a significant, decline that is not in fraction form?
It is not too little, considering that the population is increasing and people are engaging in various economic activities. Others which are dubious, others which are on the right line of business. So it is not too little. And we the people who have worked tirelessly to see that crime is reduced in this country, we are happy with the percentage. Although we are supposed to do more, and we are going to do more.
And that's my question. How and what do you have in store? What do you have in your bag of tricks to make this a higher percentage than it already is?
As I've stated earlier, we are going to increase on the number of personnel we have just recruited. This one will assist us to go and increase in the patrolling of towns, cities, and villages. We are trying to equip our forensic laboratory. We are trying to train more professional.
That make you work better. Now let's move away from this crime report and look at your responsibility now coming in as the new spokesperson of the Kampala metropolitan area. This is an area which for the most part plays out so much in the news. There will be a political rally here that you, the police, will disperse. There will be some chaos downtown that you, the police, will disperse. And there has been loads of allegations leveled against the police that you are a partisan force and you are out to ensure that opposition agitation doesn't see the light of day in this country. How are you going to face up to the challenge?
We have already met with the opposition. We had a deal. So I think the city will be more peaceful.
Share with us. What was the deal?
It was in the newspapers.
I have the chance of having you here. I want people to say that Onyango said it on TV. What was the deal?
Last weekend, they had a peaceful rally in West Nile. Was there any problem? The only thing we are saying, and we have been telling them, follow the law. The guideline is here. Follow it. And if you follow it up to the letter, we have no problem with you having your rally in the city. And that is it.
Let's look at the part where you parade suspected criminals to the press every Monday morning during your press conference, only for these people to turn out to walk freely, and in the long part, having abused their right to privacy. In other words, you expose somebody, you arrest me as a suspect, but you expose me to the press as a victim, or no, as a perpetrator of crime. Don't you find that an anomaly, Onyango? Are you going to continue with that barbarian
Let me first tell you, they have the right to get bail or police bond. That one, I have no authority over it.
Yes.
Secondly, the issue of parading. Most of the suspects who normally parade, these are habitual criminals. They know their way out of the justice and law system. So even if you arrest them, they know how to get out of it. So the only thing is to warn the public that please be aware of Simon. You are seeing
when
here.
you see him now,
yes,
you know he's about to commit a crime.
And report to us.
Don't you sometimes get cases where you parade people who eventually turn around and claim that you abuse their right to privacy?
We have not had such a claim yet, but we wish also not to have it. And with the time we shall review this. It is just a matter of reviewing and seeing what we can do best for the people of Uganda. We are here to serve Uganda.
Of course, as we conclude, I do not know whether you say from your report that cases of corruption are on the rise, as always been the case. But we also know that the human rights and other agencies that carry out their reviews on the corruption index always place the police very highly. Are we talking about corruption in the police on the increase, even as you promise fireworks on these other crimes?
Oh, corruption in the police is decreasing. We are fighting. We are fighting it. We have a unit, professional standard unit. It has eliminated or arrested a few of our indisciplined officers who are engaged in it. I cannot tell you that or say that totally there's no corruption in the police force. Yes, they are bad apples. And these bad apples, we are picking them through our professional standard unit.
And by the vigilance of citizens.
And we are calling upon the citizens to come up, give us evidence on our corrupt officers, and we either take them to court or terminate their services following the laid down procedure.
How about the allegation that the police will take its time to respond to a serious robbery taking place somewhere, but will always be there to quell a political demonstration in town? That you are now become more of a political police as opposed to a police that's supposed to serve and protect the ordinary wananchi.
We are not a political police. We are disciplined and professional police. Whatever we do it professionally, and we do it according to the law. We have never broken the law. We follow the law. We are the implementers of the law. So you can't say that we are a political police. No, that is not right.
We have never broken the law. We uphold the law. We are a professional police force. Those are the eternal words of new police spokesperson for the Kampala Metropolitan area, Patrick Onyango, who joins us this morning for the big story. We'll be right back after this with Simon Says. It's not something that we all would wish to happen in our lives. But for those amongst us who perpetuate crime, especially those who are involved in very heinous crime, like those characters that were involved in the killing of that little girl and haunting their family somewhere in Namasuba Zana area, what exactly comes to your mind when you are thinking of perpetuating a crime against your own fellow human beings? But whether that maybe is a moral question to answer. The police, on the other hand, are assuring us of heightened vigilance to ensure that those amongst us that are out to perpetuate crime, in whichever way we manifest this crime, they are out to get us and get us real hard. Of course, there's always this famous saying, oh, the writings quoted by Chinua Achebe, when he wrote that the more the birds learned how to fly without perching, or should I put it the other way around, the more the hunter learned how to shoot without missing, the more the birds learned how to fly without perching. Is that the case of the Uganda police and you, the criminals? That the more the police tightens their noose around you, the more you become ingenious in eluding them. We're only hoping that the police now takes the position of the criminals and always is on top of their game so that they can nip you in the bud in whichever direction you may think of taking your criminal activities. What am I saying? I think the aversion of crime is not just the duty of the police. It's also a duty of all we good-hearted citizens to look out and be our own brothers keepers and our keepers as ourselves. When we do that, we can comfortably say this will become an area or a country or a district or a parish where we're all happy to live amicably and, of course, with the security that we should be enjoying as citizens to allow us to ply our trade no matter what we do. Have a wonderful, progressive and, of course, productive Tuesday morning. It's extremely sunny, but that's the time to fold your sleeves and get them to do some serious work. As the police, of course, continues to do their work of preventing crime, protecting us, and, of course, upholding the rule of law. I hope they do. Have a good morning.
You can bring everybody in parliament as long as they can wake up and vote for the NRM.
As long as the voters exercise their rights to elect their leaders, there was no need for term limits in Uganda.
I know him. I know how he operates. I know how he thinks.
There are ways you can go around these obstacles.
Why should I conduct myself as if I am Muyai?
It's absolutely true. I admire the President Museveni.
Is the ICC a fascistic code targeting African leaders?
You cannot tell me that the whole trouble Kenya had revolved about only 2 individuals.
The money is not in the budget of this financial year.
You can't beat God. You see, God is polygamous also. Look at Jeremiah chapter 31.
The security of this country will largely depend on the contribution that the people make.
Follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat. Follow the beat. Follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat. Follow the beat. Follow the beat, follow the beat. Follow the beat. Follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat. Follow the beat.
I was going to my hall, someone came from my back and was
how tugenda okwebaka ekiro yanga mwami omanyi webakeko nange omulundi gw'ogusembayo.
I went to the nurse and I asked why is it that our father is negative and for us we are positive.
Every time I find a story of assault of one person to another, I get disturbed.
Mwayombye ekiro lwaleeta suzeewo lwe bakwokezza nazeepoza kimu nti mujja wange yanjokezza.
Kino ekyafa kino kyali kyakulira muno mu lubuto.
The Irene I know just loves music and loves to sing. I've never seen her even smoke a cigarette.
The days of legal trade in slaves are history, following its abolition in the 1800s.
They tie you like this. That's when I started getting past.
Everybody has a story, but yours will only become our story when you share it.
Beautiful girls all looking for love, and we guarantee that each one of them will go out on a date. But will it work out? Only time will tell as we follow their magical dating experience on Be My Date. Your personality will matter, and The Bachelor has to be screened by all these ladies. We're going to have fun as we find love on Be My Date. And whoever said finding love was hard, on Be My Date, we will break the rule. Finding love is going to be an interesting experience that you all want to be a part of. Be My Date is a brand new dating show that is a must-watch on the station that turns on your world. My name is Anissa Fabiola and I'll be your host.
To find a date, visit our Facebook page and inbox us your details. Be My Date. Dating made easier. Coming soon on NTV.
Me? Oh, you give me way too much credit.
You know what? You got what you want. But what shocks me is that you don't care at all about Hakim and Lulu.
What was that? That was me trying to save the two of us. At the expense of someone's career? A man's got to do what a man's got to do to survive. All I need is answers.
How about you stay away from my reporters
and stay away from a newspaper.
Hakim could be Mabel's son, but that's yet to be verified.
But where do you get all these stories from?
I'm a journalist, but what I don't buy... If you spend less time on the phone, you should probably move up to speed.
Oh gee, thanks for the advice.
I am your mother, not one of your cheap whores, and you need to show me some respect.
I'm gonna blow your mind and I'm gonna twist your taste buds. The flavors are already coming together. I can feel them. Very lovely, very appetizing, very healthy. Remember, the way you see it, the way you like it, is the way you get it from my kitchen to your kitchen.
On the next episode of Deception.
Evirini yote olubanda ngamba nga nzijanga mbikubuulira nga tusala amagezi engeri gye tunaakalemesa awo otegeddewo.
You went to his place, eh? Ouch. What was that for?
Chris, wandimuwulirizaako.
Ono kasasi lugwambuzi.
Anedda nange nabadde mugobye naye alina ebintu byannyonnyodde nagenza okulaba nga kyandibadde kirungi n'obiwulirizaako.
Deception. You're watching Morning at NTV with Simon Kasiate, Mabel Kebirunji, and Brian Molondo.
3 minutes after 8 o'clock. Thank you so much for staying with us. And we're still at the rooftop of the Kampala Serena Hotel. Don't ask why I'm laughing, but it's really interesting. And we want to thank you. Whether you're joining us on your telly or online, that is www.youtube.com/ntv/live. You can catch us there. And lots of other people, about 500 people joining us via YouTube. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think officers should start buying televisions and hook your guys up with some fast internet so that they can stream this show live. And very soon we'll be developing an app where you just tap it, NTV, and then the show is on there. You can watch, whether you miss it in the morning, you can just go to that app and tap Morning at NTV or Akaungezi, and you can replay all these things back and forth. Before the break, we had the fresh new Kampala Metropolitan area spokesperson Patrick Onyango, who's just been promoted. I don't know if it's a promotion, and that is up for debate, but he was here talking about the new police crime report that was released yesterday. And some of the stuff that he said was really powerful. Defilement in urban areas has declined. And of course, joining me is Joel, who is our should I call you political analyst?
Is it? Am I?
Yeah.
Hey, that sounds very powerful.
Are people in the villages more frustrated, and so they don't have a lot of stuff to do? So the time to engage in such things is readily there for them.
Without a doubt, without a doubt. People are broke, people are unemployed, and without justifying it in any case, yeah, I'll tell you, unemployment is usually tethered to crime. I mean, for that, unemployment, poverty is usually tethered to crime, and that is why there are particular areas where it is a lot more. Eastern Uganda, Mbale, Iganga, Jinja, in that order, those are the highest, yeah. Right. It explains a lot. People are yearning for what to do when they don't have what to do. They engage in crime. The other day I saw border guys threatening. See, if you throw us off, our borders, we are going to come and we'll hit you with time.
Right.
They said it jokingly, but you believe them in many ways.
Right.
So it is a challenge we still have on our hands.
We have just recruited 500 police cadets. Does that help in monitoring? Does it kind of reduce the crime activity because of the number of men on the ground?
We still have a lot to do. The UN requirement, the ratio of policemen to citizens should be 100 to 500. You know, that is the required kind of number. Here in Uganda, we have it at 1 to about 800. That is a total order, because we have a police force of about 40,000.
So isn't it 1 to 1,000?
We need a lot. Well, I'm quoting official statistics here. It could be a lot worse. We need a lot more because there's a lot more work to be done. Elections are coming up. Because you see, at the end of the day, again, what are police doing? They're doing a lot more of what we don't exactly require them to be doing. You know, they are manning rallies, chasing after Chiza Besigye and the like. I heard the other day IGP say, for example, he does not know the guys at Chiza Besigye's house. I said, seriously? Why are you either fooling us or making a fool of yourself?
Onyango also saying we are picking out the bad apples in the force through our professional standards unit.
I think they... of course, you can't blame them entirely, because where do they get these people from? They get them from you and I, people out there who are as crooked as can be. So when we see police officers operating the way they do, many times it's a reflection of our society. But you see, that's not excusable. They are trained. We expect them to do a very good job. We expect them. It seems like people don't expect you to make mistakes on air.
Yes.
But you're human, you make mistakes. But you see, when you make a mistake and you say one word
if it
instead
becomes
of
your habit, then...
Even if it's not, even if it happens once, people are thinking, hey, he actually said that. And then the person saying it might be the kind who has errors and errors in their language. They're probably a lot worse off, but they expect you to do a good job. So police, we expect them to do a very good job. And that's the way it is.
Well, Arthur Peter Batwala says police does have good PR, poor PR. What is he going to do about it? The tale of a handcuffed custodian of peace. Wow. James Mwangusa saying the police must clear its image in the people so as to cooperate with them to end crimes, and that's the best solution. All right. And of course, Patrick Onyango also saying that they are not a political force, but a professional force. That will also debate on another day. But of course, congratulations to my very good friend Patrick Onyango, and we wish him...
But has he been promoted or demoted? I was actually just teasing him a little bit. He has been deputy police spokesperson national. Now he is spokesperson of Kampala. There's a time I had him on.
Maybe because there's more activity in Kampala. Well, you can join the conversation on our Twitter page at Morning at NTV. Mabel will be coming later with your Facebook comments. But for now, if you're heading out of office or home or late for a meeting, here's the traffic update. Good morning.
There is a way we are back.
All right, 9 after 8, and we, of course, will be updating you about what's going on. Remember, you can WhatsApp the images to 0-716-730. Let's have the images. I guess this one is from Bukoto. Is that Bukoto? That is Bukoto, and we have another image coming in around Radio Simba. And Peter also sent us a picture at Fairway Hotel. And yeah, today Morris is not sending any picture. I guess he came in late. We got another image from, let me see, what's his name? Hans at Acacia. Acacia, all right. We have another image coming in from Rose at Fairway Hotel, right? That is Fairway Hotel. Okay. And Andrew also sent us a picture on Entebbe Road, but the picture was not very clear, so we couldn't use that image. And all right. Yes, become a traffic reporter, ladies and gentlemen, 0-716-730. We are working on something that is going to blow your mind away. I can tell you, live traffic updates, live to the minute. And when it's ready, we'll be unveiling it very soon. But for now, wherever you are, send us the image, Facebook and Twitter open. Mabel standing by the birthday wishes and your Facebook comments. When I come back, everyday live, looking at how you can be accountable this morning. Good morning.
Happy birthday to you, Morning at NTV loves to send shoutouts to you if it is your birthday, and today we say happy birthday to Anita Ashaba, who works at Mulago Referral Hospital. Happy birthday, Anita. You share your birthday with Kofi Annan, who was the 7th Secretary General of the UN from 1997 to 2006. He is known for also having received a couple of prizes, including the Mahatma Gandhi Prize and the Nobel Peace Prize, which he co-received in 2001. He turns 75 today. Now on to some of your messages. Earlier we hosted Onyango, who is the new Kampala Metropolitan Police spokesperson for the big story, and some of your comments here. Lansla says, Kongs Onyango, in order to reduce homicide, the police should create a unit which can deal with such cases, and they should fund that unit with good investigation equipment. And Baba Mwezi says, T. Chai keeps those traffic men on the road. By the time the day ends, they have some people's salaries in their pockets. Why then should they leave the road? I am packing a flask one of these days for Anafande at Clock Tower. Ha ha ha. That's how he chooses to end his message. And then some of your messages appreciating the show. Tamia Queen says, hello, the morning crew. I am here and set with all my ears open for today's talk. And then Shaban says, good morning, Brian and Mabel. Thanks for the show. I appreciate. Keep blessed. And another message from Fred Wakida. He says, the architectural plan of crime is laid down in one's heart. The body just implements. We should find means of making us Ugandans, our bodies and souls busy by being innovative. Remember, an idle mind is the devil's workshop. And those are some of your thoughts. Feel free to go to our Facebook page if you have not yet liked it. I don't know what you're waiting for. There are 11,412 likes and we are still counting. So please go like our page, click the like button, and let us know what your thoughts are. We now return to Brian for the HTC moment.
We started with the goal of bringing the power of computing into the hands of people around the world. From the beginning, we were designing many of the world's first touch and wireless handheld devices. Reaching out to our partners and setting no limits on innovation, we produced one of the most popular touch experience devices at the time. We were building smartphones before the term smartphone even existed. We then set out to make the most versatile smartphones, including ones that let you use either a touchscreen or a keyboard. We saw the potential of 3G early on and introduced the world's first 3G Windows mobile smartphone. We changed the way you use your fingers. Based on our research into gestures, we gave you the intuitive and easy-to-use HTC Touch. We then announced a new way for you to experience the internet with the world's first Google Android smartphone. To give you the most personal experience, we introduced HTC Sense, a user experience that fundamentally changes the way you use your phone by making things work the way you expect them to. We once more revolutionized the industry by launching the world's first 4G Android smartphone. We integrated Beats audio into our phones to deliver the most authentic sound experience, enabling people to finally feel the music the way the artist intended. We created a one-of-a-kind phone with an amazing camera that outperforms most point-and-shoot varieties. Most recently, we once again set the industry ablaze with the new HTC One. Critics have hailed the new One with its full metal body design, a live home screen, photos that come to life, and dual frontal speakers as the best Android phone of the year. Curiosity and ingenuity have defined our history and were recognized by the industry as one of the world's most innovative brands. We've come a long way, but one thing hasn't changed. It's people like you that inspire us to create the most innovative products in a world that becomes more connected every day.
course, it's powered by HTC, quietly brilliant. The whole range of phones at the HTC Hub at Forest Mall. Feel free to go and grab yourself one of the models, HTC 500, 600, 400, 300, 200. And they are very cheap, dual SIMs actually. And they range from about 350,000 to 2.5 million with the HTC One. And most of you have been sending me messages asking, Brian, how can we win that phone? It's that simple. Every week we'll bring you a set of 4 questions. When you answer those correctly, you win yourself an HTC phone. And this week we're going to give out 2 more phones. Actually, the winners are declared. We're waiting for those winners. Go to the HTC app, pick their phones. We'll show you the footage and then release another set of phones. We're probably going to give out the HTC Desire 500 next week. And yeah, but if you are not ready to play the game, then head over to Forest Mall and grab yourself one. Coming up is Everyday Life. Good morning.
It's the first thing you see in the morning and the last thing you see at night. It stresses you out. It calms you down. It helps you remember. It helps you forget. It keeps you connected. It's the only thing you own that is always within an arm's reach. Which is why you don't need to get a phone. You need a phone that gets you. And you. And you. And we are HTC.
Everyday Life is brought to you by...
And we are HTC.
It is normally viewed as being responsible, giving an explanation to someone or, for your actions. But today's lesson is not going to be about holding you accountable. Yes, it will partly that, but also how can you hold yourself accountable? Joining me is over my boss. But I'm the boss. Ajay Masinde, good morning.
Good morning, Brian.
You're also a lecturer. You're jack of all trades. Tell us about stuff that you do.
Well, my name is Gerald Rovis Masinde. I am a media consultant. I am a life coach and a motivational speaker. I'm also a father and a husband to one wife.
One wife? Yes, some people many wives.
And my wife is a woman.
That is crucial.
Yeah, I do teach at Uganda Christian University. I teach radio and television related courses as well as public relations, and it's good to be here.
Right. Thank you so much for joining us. I know you stay fun and you have to bring the subject to be here.
Sure.
Gerard, accountability is very, very complex.
Sure.
And when you take 100% responsibility for, holding yourself accountable,
sure,
sometimes it may be hard. Let's start with the basics. What is the importance of being accountable?
Well, I'll start by reading you a quote by Sir Josiah Stamp. He says, "It is easy to dodge our responsibilities, but we cannot dodge the consequences of dodging our responsibilities."
Read that. That's powerful.
It is easy to dodge our responsibilities, but we cannot dodge the consequences of dodging our responsibilities. So this whole thing called accountability comes down to the consequences of you dodging your responsibilities. And I like the way you brought it, that you need to be answerable. Accountability is taking responsibility for something or to somebody and putting in place a plan of action to keep you on track with your goals. If you want to succeed, if you want to make some progress, a lot of people are looking out for how do I grow personally, how do I develop myself so that I can be on the cutting edge, and people do not know how. Accountability is one of them. It cuts across. Yeah.
Well, why is it hard then for us to be accountable? We are always, we're like, I'm going to find a mentor. I'm going to find someone who will put me on the edge, and then things fall through.
The first thing that people neglect, which is actually important, Brian, is that the first level of accountability is accountability to yourself. And that is in 3 places, or 3 types of accountability, or 3 areas. One is accountability to taking responsibility for your actions or choices, or decisions. For example, the way you spend your time, okay? The way you spend your money, the way your attitude towards challenges, okay? And number 2 would be your accountability. We'll probably say that again, like, if, for example, let me use this as an example. If I have set a goal and I don't live up to that goal, I'm falling short of something. Okay? So the other area is your responsibilities. Returning calls, replying emails, visiting people if you said you would, writing reports, and then the last one would be your goals. Set goals. That would be things like your fitness goals, your financial goals, like I said, in the next 3 months I need to be at this place, and then I'm not there. So number 1 thing that people neglect, which is so important, is accountability to oneself, yourself. And that's a hard thing, because holding yourself accountable, it's possible. I have done it, and people have done it. I've had a lot of success stories through this work of speaking to people and motivating people that have held themselves accountable. Okay, they have put things in place. Why do you think people keep journals? Why do you think people keep a diary of events? For example, before I set out to start my day, I have it written down on paper. That is holding myself accountable, so that at the end of the day, if I look at what I wrote down, they call it a to-do list, and I have done none of them, then I'm not being faithful to myself. So one of the things you need to do, of course, is practical ways you can hold yourself accountable is to write things down, document things down. And number 2 is find somebody that you answer to. I know that's a hard one. That's a very hard one. We always want to be the bosses of our own. And even me, you feel the pinch if I have to keep answering to somebody. But, you know, for example, like
it gets you to a position of a child. I mean, like someone goes like,
feels like that. Thank you for the analogy you used, Brian. The reason why it puts you in a position of a child is because, you know, a child always wants to grow. Children have to grow. They don't stay in one stage. Now, if you want to grow, you have to lean on somebody. Like, if you have never been to Kabare, you have to find somebody who's been there so that they can take you. So the child wants to go somewhere, and they have to find somebody, and it's a responsibility of the parents. I'm a dad. So it's my responsibility to make sure my child actually grows. So if you reach a point in your life where you think, I don't need nobody to show me the way, then I think you're not growing, and life is going to be quite frustrating for you, because the first state of you growing as a person, I'm talking about personal growth, is for you to identify somebody that can actually help you get there. Yes, that's accountability.
And identifying that person can get you there, because I personally for a long time look for someone who I can talk to. You know, sometimes I think I have a weakness of judging character. When I realize I'm like, no, and I move on to the next.
I don't think I can. And I think it's human. It's normal. It's normal. Some of the ways you can gauge who should be your mentor is find somebody. This is a principle that my life coach gave to me, you know. Find somebody that does something better than you. Now that puts you at a place of lowliness of mind. We call it humility, yeah? Brian, if you are good at what you do on the television, like you are, and I want to be like you, I am going to find a way of you mentoring me. I'm going to do things, but before I get them approved, I'll ask you, what do you think about this? And at that point, I am seeing a strength in you. You know? There's a challenge with finding somebody to mentor you, somebody to be accountable to. I cannot be accountable to somebody who's not taking me anywhere. First of all, they don't even know if what I'm doing is right. That's right. It's like a blind leading a blind. Yes. They will end up somewhere, and that will be really bad. So I'm going to find somebody that has a strength in an area that I'm interested to grow. And then I'm going to ask that person, you have to agree. I'm going to tell Brian, you know, Brian, I would like you to mentor me. I'd like you to be my coach. I'm going to be accountable to you. And then we set principles. We say, you know, every week I'm going to require you to give me a report of what you've done. I'm going to call you once a week to ask, how are we doing? Now that puts you on pressure. You feel like your whole life is literally based on jealousy, and that's part of growth. You see, Brian, if your boss left you to do what you're doing and they never gave you feedback, you would never grow. You would never know what you're doing right or what you're doing wrong. Okay, some people can pretend to be geniuses, but there's no such thing as a genius. Yes, we've got to learn. We are all a work in progress. Okay, you have to be better every day. And so this person who you are accountable to has made an investment into your life or your career, and they want you to grow. Okay, so one of the ways you can actually grow, one of the ways you can gauge or measure if I have grown or not, is by going back to them back and forth and asking, hey, by the way, how am I doing? Their accountability partners that never say a thing. And they only wait when you're in trouble, and then they say, you know what, a few months ago I wanted to save you with Paul. I don't think that's right. I think it's better you tell me that, show me the way, so that if I choose to go that way, then I know the repercussions. I hope it makes sense.
It makes sense.
Yeah, so that's basically it. If I want to grow, if I want to progress, personal growth, you set financial goals. People who spend more than they earn, you need help. You need to see a coach to help you. Say, you know what, a financial advisor who will tell you, say, you know what, I think you've done this for a long time, it's not working. You're stuck with the business and it's not making profits. Seek for advice. Go to people that are in the same business that are able to help you. Ask them, how do you do it? Don't, sometimes you need to swallow your ego if you're going to grow. And that's what accountability does. The reason why we're having issues in this country is because our leaders are not accountable to the people. They go to them and say, give us votes, we'll go represent you, we'll go make policies that will make your life better. And when they go to parliament and everywhere, they forget. They don't come back. Because they think, it's all done. And you're not accountable to the people that put you in office. I think as leaders, we need to be accountable to the people that put us in office. And that's the way that we're going to gauge our growth. That's the way we're going to be able to measure our performance and reach a point where we say, I think we've done something. I was going to ask you, does it accountability again? Use the analogy of relegating to the, but does it take away that power that you have? That's what you control you. That's what gives you more power. Who? Me? You? The one who is accountable. The one who is accountable. Let me explain how, Brian. The way to grow a child, you were a father, I know that. The way to grow a child is to let them be. Okay? If your 3-year-old son, is trying to do something, and every time they try to do something, your role is to, hey, don't do that. They're going to get scared. They may never learn how to do it. Even when they're doing something that doesn't seem right. Give them an opportunity to learn. Okay? Now, if you're accountable to me, I am going to let you be. Okay? Problem is when your accountability partner is the kind that demands, of course there are levels of accountability, and people are learning through the process. Where, for example, if we have set out and said, every week I'll call you once, just to know what's going on, my responsibility is to make sure I call you. It doesn't mean that I should be following. I'm not a spy. There's a difference. Minute update. I'm not a spy. I'm not trying to enforce my will on you. I'm basically trying to help you grow. Okay? And it's a relationship that we agree on. You said, you are going to be my mentor, and my responsibility is going to be to help you grow. Now, there are days that you will come and things have gone south. That's the truth. Does it mean I put you down and wallop you because you've done something wrong? No. We will talk through the process. We will say, I think, Brian, you overreacted here. You need to tone down a little bit. Can we talk over coffee? Can we find more ways you can deal with this problem over coffee? And I think that's a healthy relationship. Right. Yeah. Well, if you're just joining us this morning, are you accountable to someone? Do you want to be accountable to someone?
I know this is one of the most difficult things for anyone. And a couple of things that people have noted, Gerald. I'm joined by Gerald Robert Masinde, who is a lecturer at UC Mukono, a life coach, a media consultant. He's my boss also. And I'm really happy. I'm trying to behave here. But Gerald, one of the things that stop making excuses. In any situation, there are always some factors you can't control. You're responsible for trying to shift the blame onto other factors. Yeah. So you do something and you try and say, you can grow that way. One of the ways you can grow, if I had, time I would, let me say this, right? Holding ourselves accountable may seem like it's enough. After all, these are your roles. However, the truth is that most people see this as a very difficult task, right? Now we can rationalize almost any excuse for not reaching our goals. It's human to do that. You don't want everything to go down on you, but you see, the day you actually realize that I have made a mistake and own it, that day you will realize that you've actually grown. Are there boundaries for you, the person who is a mentor? Are there things that you should set for yourself? Because sometimes I also fear offering myself to be a mentor. There are cases where I'm naturally drawn in those places to be a mentor. For example, if someone's the best man, naturally I'm their mentor. If someone's older brother, naturally I'm their mentor. So you're between a rock and a hard place. You must be, if you're a father, you are another, mentor, leader. Yeah, I are those things that can also help you be a good mentor. However, being accountable. Absolutely, Brad. You thank you for that question. There are boundaries, okay? For example, Brad, if I am a leader, I am a leader, okay? No doubt about that. People look up to me. There are things that leaders don't do, okay? Why? Because those stumble others. If I'm, if you are the minister of ethics and integrity finance, I know you say that, minister of finance, but they're hunting you down because you've been involved in scams and all that, in second loans, you can't say that. That's a good example. As a minister of finance, number one responsibility is you need to be able to take care of your finances. Why should we read the papers that they're chasing down? Sharks have given you money to pay back. So, as a leader, as a mentor, as a person that somebody is accountable to, it's your number one responsibility to show them the way. Lead the way. You have to clean your house first before you actually clean the other. Isn't that too much pressure on you? Because if, for example, your life is a mess, you have the authority to tell me friends you should have done this. Then you say it down as a leader, as a mentor. I think that's you see, when you realize you made mistakes and you own up, that's a sign of humility. Another big problem that we have, not only in this country, but all over the world, is that leaders don't want to own up. We want to clean our lips in public, but what's happening behind us is that's not a good example. Everybody has their own people. We're not self-gratifying ourselves or self-righteousness. No, what we're saying, as a leader, be responsible. Okay? If the person that you are mentoring, okay, find you, and you told them drinking is not good for you, you're still young, you're still in school. Now I have a group of young people that I meet every week, and I tell them things. They ask questions, they answer them, and I say, now set targets. If you're going to work, you need to be in the office 8:30 in the morning, and late in the night in the bar, drinking, 4 a.m. How are you going to perform? When we make that for 2 weeks, but it's not going to be long, and feel the pressure that to come down. Right. So let's put in place a mechanism. Let's put in place systems that are workable, that are friendly with the way your body works. Don't exercise
you don't take time to rest. You know, you need to put the body to rest. Yeah? You've been walking, no time to rest. You will get down. As you have talked about writing down, yes, hiding someone, somebody you're accountable, could be your family member, could be your boss, could be your colleague. As long as you can identify an area of strength and master the system that. Don't take everybody for a mentor. I will tell you and start my life. You ask me what Brian is a smart gentleman. The reason I want him to be, I want to be accountable to him is because he's going to help me grow in a certain area. And that's where we go wrong. If we can identify those places where people are going to help us grow, go for it. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us. I love to, especially your students. We have one of your students here working with us, you know. I see lots of them in many places. I think what I should say then, thank you for giving me this opportunity, is that if you have been in a place in your life where things are not moving, you've set goals and never meet them, you've set targets and nothing happens, I'd like to encourage you today. Sit down, think through. As I talked about accountability and names that came to you, approach somebody. You have seen people that have grown in the area, and you need them to help you. So go to them. It's a sign of humility. You need to grow. Don't stay in your cocoon and you're dying. 5 years from now, 10 years, you're turning 40. But when you look back, there's nothing left. Identify that person, ask them to help you grow in that area, and I believe by this time next year, your life will be on a whole new level. Your goals will be met, they may not be all of them, but a few of them, you know. There are areas in your life, time management, you know, how to handle your finances, your attitude towards work, all that needs to change. If you're going to see progress, you're going to succeed in this life. Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, I will agree on Twitter saying I like the conversation on everyday life. Well, thank you so much. You can contact Joel Rovis on Twitter at Joel Rovis 85. I thought you were born in 85 because that's somehow the thing. And on Facebook, Joel Rovis Maxine. Joel Rovis. All right. You also have a production manager at Power FM, where I'm very privileged to serve. I'm going to talk about that. Thank you so much for joining us. Isma is standing by with sports. Isma, what do you have this morning? Good morning. When we get back from the break, I'll tell you why the new clause in the National Sports Act feel like a fundamental change in the way sports is run in this country. Tell you about my reservations and my aspirations in terms of the National Sports Act. Let us tell you how Kiprotich is bound to perform when you go to London this Sunday for the Virgin London Marathon, and Chelsea are talking to PSG, and without using so much legal jargon, we'll talk about Oscar Pistorius, who was in court yesterday, and the chance today. That's morning at NTV. Well, hold yourself accountable is nothing more than following through your commitments and responsibilities. It's doing what you know you should do when you should do it. That's all we have for you in everyday life. See you in exactly a minute. We just got started. Good morning.
Everyday Life was brought to you by
We are HTC. Every idea we have begins with you. The way you connect. How you browse. How you share. And how you interact with the world around you. Is the moment that I how do you want people to think, feel, and act outside the box? In other words, what's your objective? You inspire everything. Because in the end, innovation doesn't really matter unless it does something that really matters to you. And we are HTC.
glad to be your jam? Yes, especially since I thought you were shunning all things Newman. I have no reasons for showing up.
What did you say about him?
I'm sorry, I tend to read.
Okay, look, whatever you think you know about him, you don't know his heart.
If there's a way to make me feel more miserable, you will instinctively find it.
You gave up the one woman you loved, and now you're having a hard time figuring out how to move on? I can't imagine a woman had a good man like you.
Okay, you know what? I don't need you telling me how to feel about Lily.
Are you pregnant? No. Then why are you trying to alienate Tyler?
Has something happened between the two of you? Are you afraid that I'm going to do something wrong in marriage, or not you? Why don't we have a party? I'll bring Nikki and bring your siblings. How's that? What are you going to do? You going to blackmail them this time, or are you going to bribe them?
Mommy's not the only one who knows how to make up a story.
As long as the voters exercise their rights to elect their leaders, there was no need for term limits in Uganda. I know him, I know how he operates, I know how he thinks.
There are ways you can go around.
Why should I collect myself? If I am in the eye,
it's absolutely true. I admire the President Museveni.
Is the ICC a first code targeting African leaders?
You cannot tell me that the whole trouble Kenya had revolved about all the individuals.
The money is not in the budget of this financial year.
You can't beat God. You see God is polygam and so. Look at Jeremiah chapter 31, the security of this country. You largely depend on the contribution that the people make.
On the next episode of Destiny River.
Because I miss Angelina.
Angelina is no longer here.
We both know it has to be forgotten.
I can't forget. I don't want to forget. Oh, are you still awake, Mom? It's late to be awake, right? Especially late to be awake and kissing a stranger outside my house while your fiancé is calling you from another country.
Destiny River.
To 9 o'clock, yeah, the conversations before we get on air are quite interesting. So bear with us if we, get on air and we are laughing. Yeah, we'll share with you some of them. This morning, this is my all dressed up, looking jumper in a Valentine's color. This probably was the outfit that River-Steam Cup was wearing when she got shot in that bathroom. Oh, it was a rubber. Supported in Russia. Okay. That's good. They have to rest in peace. Yeah, we'll talk about that later. But Isma, amid all the fighting that characterizes our sports federation, from basketball to football to volleyball, there's a new sports act. And this has only been stolen by a very good journalist. We call it breaking the story. People who have the power call it stealing, because when I'm Mangusha, they pick up on this story. No other media house had it except the Daily Monitor. And in the act there are so many things that would help sports. For example, look at some of the highlights, and I've written some of them down here. Someone cannot hold office in more than 2 associations. That has happened before. I know Roger Dunga, I think, was in weightlifting and boxing at the same time, at the time when boxing was going down. Then there is the first one about, for one to hold an executive office, they must have participated in sports at school, district, regional, national, international level. Almost like, you can't be president if you have not been in the army. Okay, you must be involved in sport at school. You have learned some military conscription or something. Before you get to an executive of a national association, let me say FUFA or Uganda Union, you must involve that sport at a lower level. Does that help, because I find that very interesting. Now we are having the corporates managing sport. They have no idea about what it means. Does this help you understand what the athletes go through? For example, if you run before, you know that the athletes need water, they need money,
You don't pay them 5,000 shillings a day because you know they need more than that. You've been there.
One of the biggest problems I found with everyone who discusses the way sport is run in this country, make it sound like something so different. Because for me, management is management. Whether a good manager at a company or elsewhere in your form, for me, management is management. So people make it sound like to be in sports you must be able to play. And I remember having this discussion like this discussion for several years ago when we were going through Rambles. That when you used to tell me about how it felt that the analytics of the Uganda Boxing Federation, you must be able to have been a boxer before. And I don't agree with that. A good manager is a good manager. So whether corporate or not, whether you understand what the footballers go through. Give you a basic example. The biggest sports brand in the world today is the Premier League. You know the guy who managed the Premier League, Richard Kidamo, has no idea. It was a bank with Barclays when the Premier League kicked in. It was a bank with Barclays. He had no idea about football. But what he knew is how to make money. And so for me, what do you need in management? For me, one of the things you need in management, you need to be able to create consensus, you need to be able to communicate with people you work with, you need to be able to have that kind of rapport. Now, that's something that doesn't happen in Uganda, so because there are too many extremists.
We always want to, that day so
yeah, we go for that, and we've tried that many times. You're not saying this about one of the best left footers according to my dad, when he was in the 70s. Look what he did, manager. Yeah, all he did was Bobby the Beer. So you cannot say that you have to be a good player or particularly on the pitch you come and be a good person. So when I look at the action time, it has good intention. Yes. Whether it will go and succeed will depend on how the minister, Jessica Luko, goes on and implements it. Because look at it this way. There hasn't been a sports act in Uganda since 1964. That's the last time they had the word sports act. How much has changed? Mabel's mom had not even met the father. That was 1964. There's Mabel here, there's Brian here. There's so much has changed. Who are the World Cup? Probably 1964, the European champions were Benfica. Just not too long before England won the World Cup. So much has changed. Yes. There was no northern bypass. So much has changed, and the sports act has been the same. So probably for the start having a change is a good thing. Something that has been spearheaded by the football people because people like Kabenga and Mwema, for all their selfish intentions, went and said we can change the way the sport is governed in this country, and the minister is making some headway. Probably going forward, it should be a good thing, I think, for me entirely.
Actually, the bypass, I'm told, had started earlier with Obote in the 60s. But anyway, moving on, it was on paper in the 1960s. The London Marathon is here. Does that excite you? And Kiprotich is in. Do you think his chances of winning are...
Finally facing that man. I need to move with my remote this week because I don't want anyone to touch it. I want to make sure no one loses it because come Sunday, I'll be in front of my television probably at 6 a.m. when the race is at 2. I'm so excited. And not because this is the equivalent of the World Olympics, but this is probably the best field that the organized Rwanda Marathon would gather. Besides the protections for Ugandan interests, a double World and Olympic champion in the marathon, Wilson Kipsang, the world record holder. There is Mo Farah, the world and Olympic long distance double world champion. And last weekend, Mr. Bekele was to go and run in Paris over the weekend on Sunday, where he won by just 2 minutes outside of the world record. If you look at the entry list of this is probably one of the best fields that the organizers could gather. And I've not seen probably London Marathon with this kind of field in comparison to what the Berlin Marathon, for example, has done later in the year. So I'm really excited. But honestly, the moment I looked at the field and saw Stanley Biwott, Geoffrey Musa, Emmanuel Biwott, what has he done? He won the Paris Marathon last year. I didn't actually opted out of this one this year because he wanted to go to London. Of course, the competition is about, mainly it's about a lot of money because of the appearance fee. But for me personally, I'm really excited about it. And I don't think, because of the competition, I have to be extremely realistic with Kiprotich. I don't think he will go to London and win. And last year he only finished 6th. Actually, see him around 10 or outside the top 10. But he's been quite preparing for some time because he's been in Kenya since last December.
Doesn't he get, I'm thinking he gets himself psyched for such big things.
Yeah.
He's got to because
these are big names, man. There's no one without a profile.
This is the Oscars of athletics.
This is the Oscars of the marathon.
Wow. Man, all these guys are awesome. I can't wait. Uganda, let's do whatever we can and support our guy. Let's pray This should be a prayer item in churches
on Sunday morning.
And Friday, yes. He'll definitely go down in history as one of the best.
Yeah, if he wins this, there could be a world record here.
Finally, we're talking about the Blade Runner. I wanted to tell you the other week, Ismail, the trials
started and all that.
All his sober moods in the court of law. For the first time, he took the stand in the trial for the murder of his girlfriend. What have you seen so far?
I don't want to sound like a lawyer on this show, and probably my knowledge of legal jargon is in the flagrante delicto, because I saw that on Zongololo 3 years ago. But I think throughout the 1 month, Oscar Pistorius has been made to look like someone with a lot of vengeance, someone with a lot of angles vectors with this gun, until he took the stand yesterday. When you're watching, and I'm a person who is really fascinated by following court proceedings. I've actually had to rewatch most of the videos of the O.J. Simpson trial back in 1995 with that American football player who murdered his wife, eventually proving that he was not guilty and set free.
Everyone thinks he shot his wife.
I'm the kind of person who follows this kind of thing very keenly. And the moment he came onto the stand yesterday, probably my opinion of everything I'd heard that the prosecution had offered over the past 1 month totally changed. Pistorius started to sound like not the warmonger, not the bad guy. He was so emotional.
He apologized.
He apologized to the family. He said, I wanted to protect River's income. But I think the questions that for many that won't go out, how you shoot 4 times through your toilet door without a noise or without trying to see what was there. And we'll talk about how he has been on antidepressants, how he can't sleep at night for several months. And it's over a year now since Rever's Cup was shot dead on February 14th last year. So while following up on the trial, from a sporting angle, Pistorius will never be the athlete he was. The guy who goes to the London Olympics without legs, the fastest person without limbs, like the people love to call him. But this doesn't look like he's going to turn out not guilty.
Has permanently, scarred his career.
He can't come back. I don't think he can recover.
I think that's gone. Wow. He now has to just clear himself and the innocent ones.
Maybe we'll see a Tiger Woods kind of.
Murder is not adultery.
But also, I think you can come back after adultery, right?
I think, but murder, like O.J. Simpson, actually the girl's family sued him and won a case for wrongful death, and I'm like, how did Americans get away with this? He was found not guilty in court, but the family went ahead and sued for wrongful death. Anyway, moving on, PSG today, 30 must waive a 2-goal deficit to knock out PSG. Do you think they can do it?
They can do it. They've done it before, especially in that game when they beat up on Napoli by 3 goals, having gone 3-1 down, the same kind of scoreline that they'll be facing. But they'll need a monumental effort, especially the way they play defensively. And that late goal from Javier Pastore probably changed the complexion of the tie. At Chelsea, I think at 2-1 were extremely comfortable until Pastore scored in injury time to give Chelsea that 2-goal deficit that they need to make up. I have a feeling that Chelsea will do it. Though I have my reservations about how well they can play, for me, against one of the teams that can be very attack-minded, because PSG are very good going forward. They may not be as good defensively. I thought last week Alex and Thiago Silva looked like Sunday League defenders put together. And they didn't look like people who go out on the training ground and work out for several hours.
They're pathetic like Arsenal defender.
Yeah, they were pathetic.
I can't believe I'm saying that.
I also can't, but this day, who you will.
That's why I think that Chelsea have got to start. Sometimes when you're at home and you get that early goal, you get the crowd into it, everyone, the energy goes up, everyone wants to be there for the team. So probably if Chelsea score early, they can do it. But the longer it stays 0-0, or the longer it stays 1-0 in terms of Chelsea, there'll be a lot of nerves inside Stamford Bridge.
Well, Isma, Lumansi, and Alan will be giving you more stuff as far as sports is concerned. Of course, for me, my highlight is Pistorius. What a sad thing, but also it's a test. It's a trial. The judicial system of South Africa will be put to the test in this one. A lot of debate has been surrounding the court trial being televised live, but also it doesn't make sense if people are tweeting live updates from the court itself. Why don't you just let it,
But they don't show the witnesses. For example, it was the warrant showing Pistorius.
Yeah.
Those are
But
two
we all know what
questions
it looks like.
We all know what it looks like. So we'll be giving you more information. It's not something that I want you to talk about, and probably we'll do that as the week progresses, is the chaos at the Federation, Athletics Federation. Yeah. And maybe that has also dented Uganda's possibility of bringing medals because, you know, we are sending athletes who are offering sexual favors, not people who can actually bring the gold back home. We'll be looking at that and more in the weeks to come. But for now, the African proverb.
The African proverb today, suffering and happiness are twins. This is an Ewe proverb.
Actually, I remember listening to the interview of Lupita Nyong'o after she won the Oscar, and she said, "I'm here so happy because someone else is sad."
Can you say
my
her accent?
I really have an accent.
It's a British accent.
British. She was born in Mexico.
Where is she born?
She was born in Mexico. Went back to Kenya then.
And lived in Uganda.
And lived in Uganda.
Suffered in Uganda, okay.
Okay, acted at the National Theatre. Yeah, but because of equilibrium, when someone else is happy, someone else is sad. Yeah, on a Saturday you're driving to a wedding, then there is a funeral procession.
I know.
Yeah, it's the reality of lifestyle.
Right.
It's the reality.
Well, you can't control that. While other people are winning their games.
At the closing. Why Liverpool has won time in a row? Arsenal has won the last 11.
I have a feeling Man United will catch us.
No, the 7 points will be too much for United.
Everton should worry you.
Well, Everton, it's time for I may be an Everton supporter next season. I don't know. But yeah. Anyway. Today we want to leave you with that, and I hope you've had a fantastic time. Please send feedback on our Facebook page. Objective feedback. We don't want you to tell us what you can improve to make this show good. And we know we are committed to making sure that you'll have an awesome morning every day. Brian, Mabel, Isma, and the rest of the crew. Peter, DOP. Engineer, Andrea, Rosemary, our director, down at the studio, Manmeet and Kevin, thank you guys so much, all the people in the graphics, Morris, Mugisha, everyone. Thank you. Charles Sebale, Charles Nagire, who's not feeling well today. We pray that you'll come back tomorrow in a sound mind. But we know you've watched this, so you'll probably scorn us tomorrow. We love you, and we want to say, hasta la vista. Baby.
NTV, turning on your world.
Gonna have a chance to be sisters.
You want the baby to have my name?
Would that be okay?
So I'm happy you came.
Yes, especially since I thought you were shunning all things Newman. I have my own reasons for showing up.
What did you say about him?
I'm sorry, attempted rape.
Okay, look, whatever you think you know about him, you don't know his heart.
If there is a way to make me feel more miserable, you will instinctively find it.
You gave up the one woman you loved, and now you're having a hard time figuring out how to move on?
I can't imagine who would want to hurt a good man like you.
Okay, you know what? I don't need you telling me how to feel about Lily.
Are you pregnant? No. Then why are you trying to alienate Tyler?
Has something happened between the two of you? Are you afraid that I'm gonna do something to ruin your marriage, or not you?
Why don't we have a party? I'll bring Nikki and bring your siblings. How's that?
Now, what are you gonna do? You gonna blackmail them this time, or are you gonna bribe them?
Looks like Mommy's not the only one who knows how to make up a story.
On the next episode of Destiny River.
Because I miss Antonina.
Antonina is no longer here, Max.
We both know it has to be forgotten.
I can't forget that. I don't want to forget.
Oh. Are you still awake, Mom?
It's late to be awake, right? Especially late to be awake and kissing a stranger outside my house while your fiancé is calling you from another country.
Destiny River.
mukama bw'otogenda nange sijja kugenda nonedda olugendo lwange si lwangu ompanirire mpulira nseerera abalabe bange nabo bangi bateesa bagala kulaba nga nemererwa saala yange kati genda nange mu magenda gange otusse mirembe yatya olutalo yakwegayirira mukama ogende naye omuyambe abalabo basanyewo otyo wakkiriza mukama wagenda naye mu ntalo wamuwanguza kyensaba nange omukama genda nange mukama ebizibu bifuse ebizibu mu magenda gange ebikemo bingi mu lugendo lwange eno gyempita omuyaga mungi eno gyempita mpanirira saba mukama ompanirire entuka eyo gy'oli abakwesiga mukama balinga olusozi sayoni sekati kangende nawe nje ngenda natuuka mukama mpanirira onyambe saba mukama ompanirira ontuuse mirembe kubadde kutuyana natuuka n'okwejjusa nti lwaki nazaalwa nga ndabye ebintu kyeva nkwegayirira eno gyendaga genda nange abamaanyi bendabye mu sseeno yekwobayambye omusaya kusaba omuyambe ogende naye wakati mu ddungu wabanga naye kati nange bwe ntyo omusumba wange naye bwasaba nti sekati byendaba mu nsi mpulira mbitidde nabateyagaso oyo omukama mpisewa kati mu lugendo lwange aninza nanyamba genda nange genda nange
tata nono muyambe noyo muyambe omusumba waffe anyoleka pyata mwanyina sono asambe kadali asala banongo esekutye bakirize bamama baffe basimbira mayumba babulaza baffe mu kanisa bateke mu kintu eyo ku mirimu gyaffe
msaada wako nifike kwako mbinguni, wakuambia wewe mimi siwezi. Adui ni wengi wamezidi huko njiani, safari ni ndefu na pia inachosha. Natamani msaada wako nifike salama, mkono wako uwe nami katika safari. Baba naomba uwe nami usiniache, Baba naomba uwe nami usiniache.
Mukama nzizenga nkunonya emigugu jange jisuse obuzito chitange embera njikoye amaziga gange gasangule nchimanyi tyolusinkunyiza sasira ebyonono byange songoba obulamu bukwetaga omulabe wange Yesu anta katika nkunyweze sikutanze sirina chengenda otali netaka kwe chayanira kwe mukwe mwe mu Yesu netaka kwe chayanira kwe mukwe mwe mfunye yange awo woni wemba nawe mamugumunga senyenya netaga kwe chayanira kwe mukwe mwe mfunye yange ngwe tolinga bano abasubiza empewo tolimba era tolinga bali bwe watwagala tewasosola mu mawanga wamanyanga sinazalwa mwenali mu lubuto lwa mama wadembera tenateeka kanindeko Mukama tonatuusa jendaga kumpi nga wadde olugendo lulimu ebiwombo bingi era ndabayo bulungi kantambule sigenda kukoa no netaga kwe chayanira kwe mukwe mwe mu Yesu netaga kwe chayanira kwe mukwe mwe mfunye yange awo woli wemba nawe mamugumunga senyenya netaga kwe chayanira kwe mukwe mwe mfunye yange Mukama jotuje wawamvu mubwavu eri muvu njagala mbe nawe tambule nawe ngende nawe siri kutanze siri kutanze siri kutanze yani oyo tekyali bwewambatira mbulira ebintu moyiseeyo tobadde nyumizaako ku bingi byolabye waliwo omusajja gwemmanyi eyeegomba omuwala nga so omuwala tamulinako bambi nagumabere mulavu ey'omu ng'omusajja mulungi nga n'empisa alina ng'omuwala mubi ate ng'empisa ze nazera bwe zityo ogambye ki nga buli kirungi kyamukolera omuwala amusasula bibi omusajja yatuuka n'okufa naye ng'olukwe kwe lubeera muwala bwe yali ng'afa bambi yadde yali mu bulumi omuwala teyeetonda naye era yamusonyiwa omuwala mubuyabuya musajja kyoyo gwe yayiwa bamuyita Yesu musajja oyo labuye teringa y'abano ogambye yatuuka n'okufa bambi kiki kale teyamuleka nawonya obulamu bamuyita Yesu musajja oyo labuye teringa y'abano neewuunyisa ky'oŋŋambye neewuunyisa omusajja eyatuuka okufa bambi olw'okuba omuwala kubanga balala balungi naye abasinga obulungi bwabwe buba kungulu zinkyerabiddeko nanga abantu tebalwa kukyuka balinga nawolovu wano bambala zaabu batemagane nga kebisebuka munda mulimu butwa abafalisaayo ab'ebintu bye bakweka mu ngoye si bituufu ogambye oyo yakula atya nenfuna ng'oyo mbeera mmaze abasajja abalungi nga tebeesigwa tebasangika yani julimbulira njagala nange ndabe kwoyo bamuyita Yesu musajja oyo labuye teringa y'abano omusajja oyo gunyumya njagala nange musembeze bamuyita Yesu musajja oyo labuye teringa y'abano yeffe bawala Yesu be yafiirira yaleka ebitiibwa bye nakkakusi abe naffe olw'omukwano gw'omungi ogutagooka nakati waali atulinze tumusembeze njagala onetegereze naawe maze ebbanga nga sigenda mu kanisa abaafunira wa kwagala nga nze omuwala omudongo ebibi byange bingi nagolusi binkala
NTV, turning on your world.
Smelling nice and being tough can go together. The freshness of fabric conditioner is now combined with the best ever stain removal of Omo. New Omo, best ever stain removal with fabric conditioner freshness.
What's that?
That document.
Oh, that. Just some business.
I came to apologize. I have no right to interfere in your lives.
I've eliminated the only evidence that links me to Ivan Chinawa's death.
But you didn't have to kill another person.
It's not like I've got anything to hide, Nene. Just go ahead.
Victoria, how is it like to work for Miles Vilagazi?
Blood seemed to matter not.
Blood?
Yeah, blood.
I'm responsible for your father's death.
On the next episode of Jazz with Isaiah.
Like most people. So the people started calling me the cowboy because I was talking about, history of country music is so popular among cowboys. So I called them maybe Ugandan folk jazz or something.
What then? What? Folk jazz?
Ugandan folk jazz.
Okay.
UG folk jazz. It's my own.
Jazz with Isaiah.
This program is rated PG. It is suitable for children ages 8 and above, but parental guidance is advised as it might contain mild violence and mature situations.
Bless me. Bless me, Father.
I can't.
Call it in!
Erano buoni padri.
Filius, Spiritus Sancti, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Medium height.
Yeah, medium build.
Mm-hmm. And you sure he was a cop and not some work on that ferry?
He was a cop.
And he saw you shoot this kid?
He had to see it, man. He was standing right there.
All right, I'm on your side. Let me see, we got drugs on the kid. We got a stolen car. The guy who lost me was Keyshawn Parker. He's a fence. He was taking delivery on that sedan. We got everything. It all works in your favor. But we do not have a gun.
I told you, it flew out of his hand when I shot. It's got to be out there.
Look, and I understand it. What I'm telling you is Internal Affairs didn't find Diddley. Lonnie said you knew him.
His family. The O'Fannons. They live over on 3rd.
Uh-huh. Well, we'll find that gun.
Or the cop.
Or the cop. One of them's bound to show up. Tony, you hang in there. Don't let this thing beat you.
Could it have been a reflection? Maybe a glint of sunlight off the ferry or building.
It was a gun.
Sometimes in stressful situations, the mind plays tricks on you, you know.
You've been on the street for how long?
2 months. Finished the academy in March.
First in your class?
Yes, sir. And first in the combat range.
Before that, you were a Catholic priest, is that right?
2 years after the seminary.
Where was that?
Texas. Plano.
Gotta be a little slow. Church life.
There are good things and there are bad.
I mean, obviously, you're a man of action.
You know, the PD shrinks put me through all this when I first applied. After you guys spent this time looking for the gun or that cop, then we wouldn't even have this conversation.
Side, Tony. Relax. No one wants to find that gun or that guy more than we do.
These questions are procedure.
Exactly. Procedure. We don't find a weapon, it usually means a wrongful death suit.
This ain't nothing compared to what the lawyers ask you. Is it true that you knew the victim?
Hey, Moran, heard you dropped in with the Holy Trinity.
Boom the Father, boom the Son, boom the Holy Ghost.
You sure? Shove it deep.
You got a quarter?
Take $1.
You ever seen it take $1? Thanks.
Hey. Walk away.
TKO. This machine's never lost a fight. You lease that rat hole on magazine?
Yeah, Academy Housing finally kicked me out.
So move in. It's a mandatory 48 till the chute clears. And you got to see the shrink downtown. Richie will take you home.
No, I'm fine.
Is he?
I tell you one thing. He's wondering why you ever left the church.
Aunt Marie.
Is it breaking and entering if the door's unlocked?
I don't think so if a nun does it.
Oh, rats, I was hoping to get arrested.
I'm sorry. I didn't bring my cuffs.
You know, an old beau and I spent a lot of time here once. I used to love to sit right here at this bar. Look at it now, would you? To think of you moving in right upstairs.
Yeah, it's the old neighborhood. Guess I just felt attached.
Not what it used to be.
It's close to the church. It's close to you.
Oh, don't you go blaming me, especially not to your daddy. Does he know you moved into this dump? Stupid question. My advice, hold off telling him as long as you can.
So, when did you hear?
Sister B came running into my classroom 10 minutes after it happened. Word spreads fast in the projects. You knew this could happen, Tony. Goes with the territory.
He asked for his rights, Marie.
You a Fannin kid?
After I shot him, he knew who I was.
Did you give them to him? Of course you did. Oh, dearest. It's one tough road you chose. Is this really what you needed to do? I guess we all have our own ways of seeking redemption.
Center.
Bless me, Father, for I have sinned.
Mea culpa, mea maxima culpa.
Who are you?
Corpus Domini Nostri, Jesu Christi, custodiat animam tuum in vidam aeternam.
Amen.
Corpus Domini Nostri, Jesu Christi, custodiat animam tuum in vidam aeternam. Corpus Domini Nostri, Jesu Christi, custodiat animam tuum in vidam aeternam.
Bless me.
Hey, what time is it?
It's almost 10. How you doing? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Sorry.
Yeah, me too.
So how's the place?
Yeah, still unpacking.
Well, do as much as you can because this is a daddy alert.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Today?
No, this morning. Mom said he was on the phone all night with his cronies from the department. So, by the way, do you want that microwave? Because I never use it.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'll just bring it by tonight or something?
Uh-oh. He's here. Great.
Is tonight okay?
Yeah. Fine. If I'm not here, Marie's got a key. Hey, why does he have to come by here anyway?
Like you really need an answer?
I hate this, see?
Good luck.
You just get up? Or is that the fashion these days? Last time I was in this place, we were busting a couple of junkies. Mid-70s, I think. They had this big old dog. Never let him out. I can still smell it. Can't you smell it?
No, Daddy. I can't smell it.
It's bad enough Marie's got to be here in the channel. I want it better for you. But I guess you know what you want.
Yes, sir.
I spoke to some of the boys last night. IA can't find a gun.
Oh, there was one.
There was a cop that saw it.
I believe there was, yeah.
That's a little strange he's not coming forward.
Yes, sir, it is.
This was John O'Fannon's kid.
Jesse.
You should talk to him.
I'm gonna do that today, Daddy.
I remember when your mother made this for you. She couldn't wait to see you wear it. If only we all knew, huh? You're gonna tell us one of these days, Tony, the real reason you left, not that bull about wanting to do more. The woman deserves to know, you understand? We both do. Look at me. Gun or no gun, you did the right thing yesterday. You can't be a priest in a cop's uniform. God in heaven, this place stinks.
Mr. O'Fannon?
I know you.
Yes, sir. Tony Moran.
Is it father or officer now?
It's officer, ma'am. But I did give Jesse his absolution. He asked for it. I just wanted you to know.
He came by here yesterday morning. First time since John kicked him out of the house. Been 3 years. Next month.
What did he want?
Money. He was still on drugs. You could see it in his eyes. Him and his daddy started to fight, just like before. Never seen John so angry, I don't know, so disappointed. And Then after they told us, all he's done is sit there, watch TV.
Mrs. O'Fannin, do you know if Jesse had a gun?
It seems to me you ought to know the answer to that question. Our son was an altar boy, you remember? Baseball player. This isn't how it was supposed to turn out.
I'm sorry.
That's why this door is still open. But I tell you what, Officer Moran, I'd rather you saved him in the church than gunned him down in the street.
Looking for something?
You know what I'm... Hey! Hey! Where did you go? What the hell's going on?
Keyshawn Parker is now at large. For those who haven't heard, we tried to bust up his operation yesterday and wound up with a chase and escape. Flipside has names and addresses of known girlfriends and business associates. He's a ladies' man, so check him out. Also,
What you doing
to sit on the pros up in L Zone tonight, getting complaints that they're exposing themselves to passing traffic. Remind the ladies this ain't Mardi Gras.
You see the shrink?
Not yet.
And Zone D has lost another showboat. This one's a 96 silver gray Jaguar sedan, license S22T47, belonging to our city councilwoman. Exactly. She reported it missing a half hour ago, so maybe it's still in this country. That's it. Y'all have a good night.
You want to talk? I got an empty seat. Dump.
No, thanks.
I know this cop once. Worked over in Arcadian Parish. Ran over alligator during a car chase. Now, it wasn't nobody's fault, mind you. That old gator just happened to be trying to cross the street at the wrong time. Well, if it'd been anybody else, they would have just cooked that gator and would have been done with it. But his conscience just wouldn't let it go. For long, he was seeing gators in his living room, gators in his kitchen. He saw gators on his commode. Man was afraid to go out his own house.
All right, what's the point?
Point is, his conscience was wrong. He had no reason to feel guilty. Neither do you. You ain't seeing gators, are you, Junior?
I'm not telling you what I'm seeing.
Well, I don't really care what you're seeing as long as you ain't seeing gators.
Sure as hell ain't seeing gators.
Then you can ride with me all night long.
Hey, the cemetery gate's open. There's something inside.
Oh, man. Now, this is the last place I'd hide a stolen car. You carrying it?
No.
Police, put your hands up on that dashboard. Hey, I ain't gonna tell you again. Keyshawn Parker. I'll go call it in.
He's gonna let the light on or something.
There is no light. That or a broken switch.
Great.
I'll go first. Ugh. Watch your step. It's slippery.
Leaky roof. This place is gross. Man. Just like time to live in a hole like this.
The kitchen's down here at the end. Better?
Oh, I don't know. Now we can actually see this mess.
My mother swears she'd see this ghost lady mending socks in our basement every Tuesday at 4 o'clock. Now, there's always socks, always Tuesday, always at 4 o'clock. Now, personally, I've never been able to respect anybody in that kind of rut. Now, I'm not saying you didn't see those numbers, you understand? All I'm saying is you've been under a little stress. And those numbers, they ain't on that windshield now.
Hey, you all right?
Councilwoman! Councilwoman! Any problem?
I'm just recovering my car.
Can I be of any help?
I'm fine, thank you.
Single needle mark, heroin. When he got good and numb, he took the gun, put it in his mouth, and pulled the trigger.
No note?
Not unusual.
Why steal the car?
Maybe like the smell of new leather.
Sure don't smell like that no more.
I'm gonna let you break that to the owner.
Tony?
Karen, I'll take them.
Your brother said you were back.
Yeah, a little over a year now.
I'm surprised it's taken this long to run into each other.
Miss Tom, you want to identify the car and your personal belongings?
Absolutely. Everything's mine except for the gun and the syringe. What happens now?
Well, we'll keep it until it clears forensic. That shouldn't take too long. It kind of looks like a suicide. Come on now, bring it on through here.
You all right?
I know. I never liked those things. Tony know how to use it?
What are you kidding? Man, meat, microwave, it's about the one appliance they do. The only reason I ever kept it around was for Josh.
Oh, yeah, that's right. How you doing?
Oh, I'm better off without him, but not so good. Does it make any sense?
Completely.
Oh, wow. Wow, this place is truly awful. Daddy must have had a fit when he saw this. Oh. Not bad. Ugh.
Oh, heavens.
What?
I'm looking in the mirror and I think I'm seeing myself years ago.
Daddy does that to me all the time. Do I really look that much like you did?
Oh, yes. Especially in these old rooms. Why here, Tony? Of all the places.
Something wrong? You okay?
I guess my mind is playing tricks on me.
Look at the moldies in this place. Must have been pretty nice one time, huh?
Yes, yes it was.
Every truly day long, Aunt Marie.
You teaching mind reading in med school these days? Oh, yes, I was, dear. You will be too. Just don't force it. No matter what it looks like now, I'm sure the right one will come along eventually. I'm gonna get the umbrella and turn out the kitchen light.
Weird.
His mother, Etta, represents project residents at district meetings.
And Keyshawn?
He assisted her sometimes.
He controlled the project's carrying. Stolen cars, stolen goods, he moved everything.
Look, I heard that. I'm not completely naive. But you have to understand, the projects are being torn down in June. He's connected, and he offered his help.
I hear they're talking about making the projects into an industrial park.
Council's voting on it next week. It's a very emotional issue. We'll keep people like Etta out of their homes.
She has your vote.
From the start, you can pull in up here.
$10, $48, and $17. I don't know, is that a trick question or your high school locker combination?
Actually, my high school locker combination was 36, 14...
12.
Oh.
I can't believe I still remember that. We didn't even go to the same school.
This is nice.
Thank you.
Can I give you a hand here?
Oh, no, that's okay. I heard about the shooting yesterday.
Yeah.
I still keep tabs on you.
Let me guess. This belongs to Megan.
Yeah. Charlie's moved on to action figures.
Bet your divorce was pretty tough on them.
Yeah. They miss having a man around.
I bet.
Do you think that they'll be discreet about it? Finding Keyshawn in my car.
It's not up to me, Karen. What?
You said the same thing to me when you left me for the church.
Yeah.
Into temptation, brother, but deliver us from evil. Lead us not into temptation, brother, but deliver us from evil.
Love her while you can. Marie, come back.
I realize with your background that this shooting may be causing you a great deal of stress. Have you experienced anything such as night sweats, headaches?
Nothing at all.
And if you're placed in that type of situation again, would you...
I wouldn't hesitate to do the exact same thing.
To use deadly force?
Yes.
Right now, we're walking on prime commercial land that borders the river and is a stone's throw from the center of our city. A city that needs commerce and safety and jobs.
That Johnny Roykin's a smooth one.
Does this make sense to you?
How he leads them around by the nose.
Look around you. You use this land for new housing, and this is exactly what you're going to get 10 years down the road. A waste of the taxpayers' money. A breeding ground for crime. Is that really what these people need? I don't think so. Industry, income, that's what they need. Work for a better life.
He's not going to hire these people. He'll say they're unqualified and move on. Man just lining his pockets.
Do you think he's going to win?
The council split 50-50. I thank God for Karen. She's putting up a fight.
Is that why you don't think that Keyshawn stole her car?
Do you really think he'd do something so stupid? He knew Karen, worked with her. And I honestly think he was looking to increase his stature in this town. If Keyshawn boy stole that car, he was bringing it back to her last night. This is his. I haven't been inside yet. Oh, look at this place. Nobody would have dared laid a finger on it when he was alive. Not that he spent much time here. I think he kept it for sentimental reasons. Sean was always into the finer things. Good furniture, stereos.
Video equipment?
Oh, yeah. Kay was always playing with the latest cameras, shooting tapes.
Did he ever do drugs?
Absolutely not. Put a bullet through his brain, never. Keyshawn was vain. He liked himself too much.
Taught him from the 4th grade up. I can't see it either.
What about those numbers? 10, 48, 17.
They don't mean nothing to me. Here, the night he spoke at the council, you take that and look at it. That's how I remember him. That's my son.
They can couch this however they like. The bottom line is that you're moving people from one slum into another, while Johnny Roykin and the faceless men who control this city get rich off of it.
There's nothing in there. Come on out of there.
Walk away, Richie.
Well, got my dollar now. I walk away from this. You walk away from Keyshawn Parker?
It was not suicide.
Why? 'Cause his mother said so? Or 'cause he gave a nice speech? You rigged this, didn't you? The gun was his. The fingerprints on the car was his. He had no problem with nobody out there on the street. We had his fence operation nailed. The man was finished and he knew it. You tell him, boss.
Homicide cleared at Moran, and you are still suspended. IA boys catch you playing cop, they're gonna be all over you and me.
Was there any news?
The O'Fallons filed for wrongful death this morning.
Which doesn't mean you won't be cleared.
No, the kid turned on you. You saw something. That should be enough.
But there will be a hearing, right?
Unless we find a witness like that cop. Go home, Moran. Don't drive yourself crazy, all right?
Look, I'm doing everything I can to find this guy.
I know you are, man. I know. I appreciate it. Thanks. Chief.
Didn't I just ask you to go home?
Yeah, do you know anything about this guy?
Yeah, he died in 51. How old do you think I am?
You think there's any records on him anywhere?
Maybe down at Central. Didn't your old man work in the 6th?
30 years.
You got a problem with him, don't you?
All you're gonna get over there is a dead branch or two.
You gonna start in on me now, Daddy?
Yeah, what's the point? You never listen. I talked again to my guys at IA. The O'Fallons are gonna file.
What's the word?
Don't let it bother you. Anyone turns on you like that, you shoot. It'll clear.
That's what everybody keeps telling me.
It's the truth. And you gotta know that when the situation comes up again, no hesitation, no doubt. Could you do it again, Tony? That's a question I would like to answer. Because if you can't, trading in that collar for your shield...
Enough, okay?
It's not enough! We're talking your life here.
My life. My life, Daddy, not yours. You have nothing to do with it.
The hell I don't. It affects all of us.
What? What affects all of us? My decision to leave? Is that what we're talking about?
You had 5 years of discernment. 5 years to decide to enter the church.
I was wrong. I made a mistake. I was wrong.
There's something more to it.
Forget it.
Come on back, Tony. Come here. You asked me about Danny Ryan. Did you find his name in your apartment? So he used to live there after the war. The local bosses owned the bar downstairs. And Ryan, he was hooked in pretty tight.
He was crooked?
And then some. Come on back, son. Come on. Come on. You remember the street lottery? Probably not. You bet on 3 number combinations. Used to call them gigs. And everyone in town had their special numbers. I mean, 1, 2, 3, that was called a Chinaman's gig. 4, 11, 40 was a washwoman's. There was a million of them.
What about 10, 48, 17?
I don't remember that. There was big money in that game. And a lot of cops on the take. And Ryan, he was one of the worst. I couldn't stand to see him with Marie. And I warned her. I told her he was trouble. She wouldn't listen. Just as stubborn as you. Official report says he was killed on duty. We found his squad car in that old cotton warehouse on Adele. There was blood on the ground. We never found the body. And Marie, she entered the order right after.
Whoa! Oh! Yep. Got one on.
That is terrific. Absolutely beautiful. Now you'll never listen to me.
Evening, boys. Anybody have any money on the pals tonight they want? I guess their pictures is proven. The usual gratuity. What? You expecting more? Only if you boys don't want me singing the Senator Keep-Up. Now, what the hell's that supposed to mean? It's the blackmailer's gig, Danny. You ought to know that. And if you want to play those numbers, you better be prepared to pay the price. Wrap them up. Take them over to the harbor. Johnny, that's deep enough. Now throw the garbage in, all right? All right, look, put the dirt in, the bricks, make it look like it was before, all right?